kind of weird, honey. Now, we're not going to go down the full rabbit hole right now, but I do want to touch the surface because we gotta start having more conversations on the Epstein files.
Okay, I have a sneaking suspicion that there are many pages that have to be redacted, have to be checked, and before anybody gets these files released to satisfy inquiring minds, we need to
drop the files. It's 1 million pages. It's dropped everything.
I understand, but this is a bad mistake. And one of the things you have to understand is these are my colleagues. And there are thousands of judges in the United States of America. Some of them are absolutely outstanding, and some of them are god awful. Some of the dumbest creatures you ever want to run into in your life have on the back keep sitting behind the bench. Some of the brightest do that too. And they're like any other type of human, they have a scale.
Well, let's start with the Steve Bannon interviewing Jeffrey Epstein. This is back in 2019. So it says Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein seem to be good friends, and they often discuss Trump. As early as 2019, the two were talking about the president being borderline, and Bannon even suggested the 25th Amendment, which applies when president was unable to lead. That's just somebody tweeting something, but I want to play some clips.
Yeah, well, you know what I find interesting? Mm-hmm. They will not deal with the mental health issues when it counts, when somebody's out killing somebody, except as, oh, he must have been mentally ill. Well, do something about these folk. When somebody deviates from a sick brand of politics, then he's got to be, something's wrong with his mind. Nobody can think like that. Well, guess what, dudes? Most people do think like that. You're the one that's a little bit on the freak side. So why don't we all get a mental examination and let's see who comes out on top?
So let's play a couple of clips.
Is your money dirty money?
If you live,
I just asked a question. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not. So, in fact,
why is it not dirty money?
Because I earned it,
But you earned it.
I earned it legally.
We went back to this before. You earned it. You earned it advising the worst people in the world, right? That do enormous bad things, and just to make more money.
So, instead of asking me the question, should you take the money? Because I think it's a legitimate question.
You think it's a legitimate question?
Yes, no question. Because I think ethics is always a complicated subject. But I can tell you that with the money I gave to help try to eradicate polio in Pakistan and India, instead of asking me whether that money should be given to these children for vaccines, I think you might want to ask their mothers who received the vaccine, who know their child now won't get polio, and ask them if Epstein should have helped these people
if we walked in, if we walked in, you're a mathematician.
Here's another clip.
You know what's interesting about I earned it? That's like I was only following orders. Do you know what you have to pay taxes on?
No, not really.
If you're a bank robber, you have to pay taxes on the proceeds from your bank robberies. If you embezzle money, you got to pay taxes on what you embezzled. So, I mean, you earned it, can embrace all kinds of stuff.
Right. And then he's a liar, but here's a clip talking about...
Well, I mean, the comeback on Epstein is all of those children might have been very infective if he'd gotten a hold of them and they weren't inoculated to polio. You know, they could have brought something dangerous over if you wanted to be nasty about it.
But what really happened, the real enemy of the finance system was Bill Clinton. And if you ask me what and who caused the financial crisis, I would tell you it was Bill Clinton.
Because of what Bob Rubin and he did to deregulate the financial system?
No. Because as of the last time we had our 60-minute interview, You talked to me about home ownership. And you asked me whether everyone should own a home. And I told you, no, it's too risky.
So the financial collapse of 2008 is because of hardworking African Americans, Hispanics, and whites who wanted to have a ownership stake in the society that all rests on their shoulders. They're the culprits.
No, not at all.
Okay, then
I didn't say they were the culprits. I was pretty clear it was Bill Clinton. But what really...
So
You know what Bill Clinton did? Bill Clinton got rid of the Democratic Party's redemption. The Democratic Party had found a niche where it stayed on top of what high finance and big business was getting away with when it came to doing wrong to ordinary people. Clinton brought them into the fold, high finance, Goldman Sachs, etc. And when the Democratic Party started losing its overwatch function to these entities, it lost its purpose because it put to use a couple of centuries worth of knowledge on how to propagandize people into accepting something absolutely horrible and horrendous, slavery. And it used those same methodologies to control the communications, entertainment, and news industries and propagandize and control other people to accept a cult that is something that has to be tolerated in a system like ours as collateral consequence to being free. But it is very dangerous. And that's what Clinton really did.
Here's another clip.
There's the central bankers.
You hear that?
I hear that central
bankers, the commercial bankers, the heads of the investment banks, the heads of all the trading desks, the top economists, and I'll throw in the business school lecturers of Stanford. Of all the top 200, 250, you can't name at the top of your head the guys are at least at your level. You have to understand it somewhat.
No. Sorry. We all don't understand it. No one understands it. It's a miracle. It's that's part of the problem. It's impossible to understand. That word understand simply means if this happens here, that will happen there. It's predictable. Understanding means it's predictable. It's not predictable. That's the problem. In complex systems, that was the fascination. Is there a way to tease out some level of predictability?
So
no. In fact, you would ask the question. It's a great question, which was it a stroke or a heart attack? Now, most people don't know that before they were going to have a stroke, they had a stroke. They just have a stroke. Do they understand why? In hindsight, you go back and you can make lots of explanations. It might sound good. And if you're talking to the working man, you're using language that he'll never understand. It's complex. So he, just like going to his doctor, he says he has a gastrointestinal problem, or he has diverticulitis, as opposed to saying, you had a stomach ache, you ate bad food. People don't like to say it in normal, everyman terms. The system had a stroke, and we don't know why.
But you just, okay. Hardworking people, and there's a great social benefit, would you not agree, with people having ownership in the system?
When you say ownership in the system, it doesn't mean...
Let's start over.
Okay.
So flip over your phone, too, because
yes.
I don't want anyone to see
yes.
So maybe flip it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows what the fuck comes over that phone.
That's correct.
We don't want to send you...
KSA.
I can't not believe I've got the magic moment when you're in fucking prison or jail, wherever the fuck it is,
it's crazy.
Solitary.
Now, there's a funny part to that we missed, which is said...
go ahead, tell it.
The funny part is what you asked me...
Is there anything funnier than that?
No.
For black humor,
I don't make any black comments, sorry. You asked me what I was wearing.
That's right, you're too wrapped up in the Me Too movement.
Yes. So I was wearing a brown jumper.
So
He's talking about dark humor, not necessarily black or Afro American humor. But
No, but
anyway,
he has said some racist remarks in the emails corresponding with people, but this one particular filing here, right, that I wanted to point out. Court filings state that Jeffrey Epstein kidnapped and trafficked underage girls across borders, flying minors from Turkey, Czech Republic, Asia, and other regions on his private jet. The documents allege the victims often spoke little or no English, and note that African American girls were the only group explicitly excluded, underscoring how calculated and systemic the abuse was. So, yeah, give me girls from everywhere in the world except for the African American.
well, you can go find them down on the city streets.
What?
You don't need to go elsewhere in the world. You can find them on the city streets. And they've been looking at some of the black female celebrities to model themselves on what Epstein might have been shopping for internationally. So unnecessary. There was a domestic market and a domestic line of production.
Now, Cash Patel, people are saying he should get fired or step down because he lied in front of Congress about evidence, Epstein evidence, as far as, credible information that Epstein was trafficking individuals. Let me play this.
This
Most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one
For the information that we have
in the files.
in the case file.
Okay. Now, you've seen.
See, you know what they're doing here. History repeats itself. This sounds like what they were doing when they were going after investigating Ollie North.
Mhm.
They did what they are trying to get them to do right now. And they got convictions, but the convictions got kicked because Ollie North, Colonel North, Lieutenant Colonel North's rights were severely violated in the process. Now, Epstein's dead, and any charges against him would be, in legal terms, quote, abated by death, unquote. But they might have a deep pool of evidence on others. But I suggest that right now, patience would be illustrating a great virtue. Let's see what comes up. Now, everybody is
Coming up.
doing inquiring mind stuff, but there is probably some incriminating things in there that need to get investigated.
True, but so being that it's public, the million pages of the Epstein files are public. Any name, no matter what the context that it's in, people are like, oh, he's in the Epstein file. Well, that doesn't mean
Yeah, I know. That's in law. You know what that's called?
what.
The prejudicial effect far outweighs the probative value. In other words, yeah, it might have something to do with something, but it creates such prejudice all out of proportion to whatever value it has that it's not admissible. Right now, there is a lot more that might be done by keeping this stuff confidential until enough comes out to return some indictments, if such is the case, or the developments that follow, than it is satisfying somebody's National Enquirer, Globe, or Star mind.
Let me play this clip here.
You replied, according to the transcript.
Oh no, I'm not playing that. I can't stand when people put music. Let me just get to this one here because
I hate it.
Yeah, it's like they want to be so dramatic. Like, just let the audio play. Mark and Jeffrey Epstein talking about the Congressional Black Caucus. This is in an email, April 2nd, 2014. You remember Gene, the black guy that's worked for me for decades? On Monday, I hosted a reception here for about 40 people. 15 were members of the Black Congressional Caucus. They came to New York to attend a Humpty Dumpty program at the UN. Yesterday, I told Gene, who was over the house the night before. He said to me, "You should have invited me. I would have put you on a suit and tie. I know how to handle them. I would have come in and said, 'Hey there, niggers.'" So, Congressional Black Caucus, they're not respected. Hey there, niggers. What is this?
Hey, that's what so many are calling themselves, isn't it?
No, niggas. But either way,
Well, I've heard some of the Black Caucus use the ERS instead of the HS,
but my thing is, y'all don't do anything anyway, so that's why you're not respected. Yeah, you're paid and bought for. You don't do anything when it comes to Black America. You've been useless for decades. So yeah,
They look like they should have been put in that Django movie.
but they wouldn't be Django. There'd be the.
I know. I didn't say they'd be Django. I said they put in the movie.
There'd be Samson and Sheba and all the house Negroes there. So this is and these are people that are funding their campaigns,
And you see who's over there. Maybe somebody's trying to do somebody a favor. Said, "Look, if we let one of those Epstein files come out, they'll swear to God that we're trying to lie to embarrass you bunch of colored folks."
But these very people that make you multimillionaires and fund your campaign with millions of dollars, this is what they really think of you behind your back, and sometimes probably to your face.
Yeah, they do it to the face. I've seen that in Hollywood. "Boss, it's so good to see you. You sure treat me and my people all right." Man, where the hell did you get that? "Oh, I apologize, but I got to keep working." Man, damn, have some dignity.
And they don't.
No.
And that is the problem. So listen, the Epstein files.
By the way, I won't mention the name. The person who said that I witnessed is a great actor. I like his acting. It's quite entertaining. But I was embarrassed to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to tell on him.
Well, the Epstein files are not going anywhere. And, we're going to continue to talk about it. We don't got to talk about everything that came out tonight because it's just so much. It's just so much. And it could be broken up. And then, some of the stuff, it's not just, Americans and even people worldwide, they like the tea and the gossip.
Yeah, but the change is that used to be on the last column, the last page of the last section in the newspaper.
But that's everybody how people are treating this.
Yeah, that's because that it spread. They've gone National Enquirer in the tabloid for too long. And now a major newspaper like the New York Times or the Washington Post or the New York Times, they publish, post, and write in a fashion that looks just like it came out of 1986 off of the front page of the National Enquirer.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mendandi's mom is in the Epstein files. Like she, hung out with Giselle Maxwell and then Jeffrey Epstein. She was in that Hollywood circles. And then it was floating around saying, "Oh, is Jeffrey Epstein, Mendandi's dad?" Because he does have some illegitimate, but the Gronk. So this is a fake AI. It's not true or whatever. But yeah, listen, it's a lot of people, especially in Hollywood, politicians are in the files. But I want to get to, like you're saying, who can be brought up on charges. Let's get to the meat.
Well, yeah. What's likely to be in there is discussions of criminality, organized crime type stuff, cases being fixed, bribes being paid, clues to questions that have not been answered.
Right. So,
But most of the people that want it, they just want the salacious content.
right.
And by the way, it's most likely to be the Democratic Party that gets it, like you just heard. Speaking of which, one thing I wanted to have mentioned, but I didn't. Forgive me for not. But on this whole thing, ICE with Don Lemon and the Democratic Party, do you know that the Democrats tried on a Senate vote to keep Hawaii from being annexed? Several times, the Hawaiians and some other people wanted to bring Hawaii in as part of the United States, and the Democrats kept it from being annexed until they had what some folk were saying illustrated with the Spanish-American War, when U.S. and Spain were having at it, and they got to thinking that, oh, wow, what are we going to do to block anything coming to the West Coast from the Philippines or from Asia? You know, what do we do about this? And then the Democrats finally got embarrassed and went around and okayed the annexation of Hawaii, and that became a state. They did the same thing with Puerto Rico as well, too.